Good evening, and welcome to the St. Petersburg By Night podcasting network. Tonight, we present to you our Vampire the Masquerade Chronicle, Bloody Strings.
Hello and welcome to, the last two episodes of Bloody Strings, as we are barreling toward the conclusion of this storyline. I am Beara the Bard, again, playing the role of Storyteller this evening, and these are my lovely players. Please introduce yourselves again. Bellatrix.
Hello. I am Noree, and I am playing Bellatrix, the Malkavian.
And I'm Kyrie, and as usual, I'm playing Grei Novak, Toreador.
Hello, I'm Lekar, and I'm playing Matthew Halden, the Toreador.
Hello, I'm Truckexe, and I am playing Nicholas Baldridge, the Malkavian.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, and thank you all for joining us for this story. Now, a little bit of a recap. You all were in your Coterie haven after just having a meeting with the prince. Some a little worse for wear went to go hunting. A couple of you went to have a little heart-to-heart with a couple of close friends. After some of that played out, Bellatrix was ambushed by Benjamin, who very quickly was assisted by Nicholas and Alex. During the confrontation, when presented the opportunity to stake Benjamin, Nicholas hesitated, allowing Benjamin the opportunity to escape. They very quickly received a notification stating that Charlie had been captured and that they were to come to De Noche the following evening. Everybody's still exhausted and pretty burnt about the events over the last couple evenings, decided to throw a party. I believe it was at the exchange. Is that the... Fantastic. So, for the remainder of the evening, they were going to take a moment of reprieve, some time to recharge. And that is where we will pick up. Are you guys meeting at the Coterie Haven before heading to the exchange, or...?
I'm going to head directly there, seeing so, and made some invites. And I need to pick up some party favors along the way before they show up.
Bella's going to be fashionably late to the exchange, mostly because she still was suffering from the mental breakdown she had, and then has to fix herself or pretty herself up before she goes anywhere.
Matt would have probably stuck around to make sure that Bella was okay and if she needed anything.
Nick would have, after seeing other people staying for Bella, he and Alex would have gone, and he would have just taken care of the extreme hunger he was having to deal with.
Okay. In that case, we will go ahead and... Grei, you are the one who threw the party together. As people are arriving in their respective times, what is this scene that you have put together?
Very reminiscent of a hotel party haphazardly thrown together. There is various bottles, alcohol, all pretty high-end, along with little party favors strewn about here and there, depending on what strikes your fancy. The one thing that is obvious for anyone who arrives is that the partygoers here are underage, for certain.
Okay. Since you are already there, it sounds like between the other three, Matthew will likely show up first. So, this party has already, for the most part, kind of gone full swing. Everybody's kind of drinking, talking. There's some dancing. Not a whole lot of crazy shit at the moment, but it looks like it's starting to pick up. They are kind of hanging out in, there's one, main room that everybody seems to be hanging out for the most part, with a couple little spaces where people can break off for privacy. But otherwise, it's just kind of one large, dimly lit room. Since you two are the first ones present, the scene is yours. What are your intentions?
Matt, glad that you made it. Like I said, anyone here catches your eye, feel free. Except, we'll point out a young blonde boy in the corner. That one. That one's mine.
Fair enough. He's going to kind of look around. You know what? I had rosé earlier. I think I'll go for a Pinot.
Be sure to enjoy yourself. If things keep going the way they are, this could be our last night on Earth.
Yeah. So, live like there's no tomorrow, right?
Absolutely.
And so he will just kind of circle around and see if there's anybody that really catches his attention.
And Grei will head over to the boy that he pointed out previously, kind of keeping an eye on the door in case Nick or Bella show. So, your friends, you haven't introduced me to any of them. New ones? I recognize some old ones.
More of a friends of friends kind of thing.
I see.
How you doing tonight, Grei?
Awful, actually. But that has nothing to do with you or anyone here. Give me a kiss on the cheek.
Is everything alright?
It will. It will be. Business has been absolutely terrible, although things look like it might be picking up soon. But you don't want to hear any of that, do you?
Not really. I'm sorry, but
I'm not surprised.
well, there is plenty to do. Are you looking for anything in particular?
I was thinking we might start with a dance.
All you gotta do is ask. And he holds his hand out.
Pull him up into me.
And you begin dancing. Matthew, what are you doing?
Well, he has locked onto a particularly, young but attractive brunette, and he is going to small talk her so he can take her somewhere and feed.
Okay. Give me manipulation and persuasion. You are making these difficult.
Two successes.
Two successes. Absolutely not difficult at all. You go over there, begin talking. This is a high school party with a bunch of drunken teenagers. Not difficult to sway them in any capacity. Yeah, easy enough. You go over, kind of begin flirting a little bit, and she is putting your hands. You have absolutely no problem at all getting into a private space. You bear with me just one moment. Okay, sorry about that. How much hunger are you slating?
Just the one, because I'm at one right. I have two right now.
Okay. So you dropped one hunger. And she is none the wiser. What are you doing after you feed?
I'm assuming I'm feeling a slight bit tipsy from that one because she was drunk, so I'm getting a little bit of the effect, I do believe, from it. And just gonna kind of enjoy the rest of the time. Just sit and watch.
Okay. You're vibing, Grei's dancing. I'll say Bellatrix is next.
I'll step inside and shut the door and stare at all the tasty people.
There are many.
Oh, this is not going to be good. I'm going to seek out Grei or Matthew or Nick. I'm looking for any of them.
You do not see Nick yet. Give me a wits and awareness.
4 successes.
Okay. You see Grei dancing with a young boy, and you see Matthew just kind of pretty relaxed. Matthew looks like he's having a pretty decent time, just kind of chilling.
I'm gonna go to Matthew.
Okay. The scene's yours.
I need your help.
You okay? What's wrong?
Really hungry. And there are too many people here. I need you to watch me.
I got you. You need assistance, or do you need me just to supervise in case?
Supervise.
Got it.
I'm gonna go find a group, just a small group of 2 or 3 talking together, like on a couch, and get them started talking about astrology and fortune telling. Like, I'm gonna lead that conversation there, and then offer a tea leaf reading in the back. You're muted.
All right. So you're doing what you would normally do, like when you're normally hunting. Okay.
Yeah.
Then go ahead and give me the. You're trying. I'll call it charisma. Do charisma and stealth.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna make sure that Matt is with me. Two successes.
Okay. You go over. You find a. You find a couple of guys with a young woman. They seem to be kind of like desperately kind of clinging to hanging on every word that she says. She immediately takes to the astrology stuff that you start making reference to. The guys get lost in your conversation and can't really follow. And when you offer to do a reading, she's the only one who jumps on it.
Okay.
And she excitedly hops up and begins to follow you.
She'll work. I am at 4 hunger, so.
Are you slaking down to 1?
I am slaking 2, down to 2. I'm not gonna do her damage. I'm gonna try.
Well, you are at 4, so I am going to need a hunger frenzy roll.
Two successes.
Two successes?
Yeah, that's why I brought Matt with me. Foresight.
Okay. Matthew. You follow Bellatrix and this young woman to another room and watch as Bellatrix begins to feed very quickly, you see that Bellatrix begins to lose her thought. You see normally where there'd probably be a bit of control. She's not letting go. She's not letting up. And you can see the girl beginning to turn very pale.
All right, he's going to quickly just kind of rush up and try to say something to Bella to try to get her attention for a second while trying to pull her off.
Okay, give me just a moment. She begins to resist you. Do you attempt to actually pry her off?
Yeah, he's going to actually try to forcibly take her off the girl.
I'm going to need two opposed strength and brawl rolls.
I'm going to blood search.
Okay.
I am not going to blood search. One success.
Spent a willpower and got 2.
Okay. Give me just a moment. I should have asked this. Bellatrix, you feel the frenzy coming up.
Okay.
Do you try to resist it, or do you ride it out?
I'm going to try to resist it.
Nothing. Do you spend any willpower to do so, or...
I'll spend my last willpower and become impaired.
Nothing. You are stronger than Matthew. However, you burn that last willpower to kind of pull yourself back, as he does manage to find the strength to pull you backward a bit. It's like 3 hunger. The girl looks tired, but not fully aware of everything that's going on. You can feel that need, the want to go further, trying to pry up through you. What do you do in this moment of clarity that you have before you know what comes next?
Bolting. I am bolting out of the hotel room.
Okay, where do you go from there?
Home. I'm going home.
Okay. You are out of willpower. So I'm going to have you do another frenzy roll, just to see if you can get it back to the house. If you can meet two successes, you'll get back to your haven without any further issue.
Two successes.
You do make it back to the haven, but you feel that need, that want for every single drop creeping up through you as you try to lock yourself into a space until you can calm down. You have averted a frenzy. I'll say you can, if you wish to return to the scene, you just go through a scene and then you can come back later.
Okay. Well, I think not. I think she'll be spending the rest of the night locked away. It's been a night.
Fair enough. Well then. Grei, give me a Wits and Awareness. While he's doing that, what's on Matthew's mind as all that happened?
He watched Bella bolt, and he see that girl damn near sucked dry, and he's a little... well, at least she's not, and that we don't have to fix this. We can just play this off. She had one too much. We put her in a room so she could sleep it off. Cool. He's a little panicky because he doesn't know where Bella went. He's assuming, but he doesn't know for sure if she went back to the Haven or not. So he's going to try to find Grei to let him know what's going on.
3 successes on the roll. I think you're on mute.
God dang it. Okay. You saw Bellatrix come in. You, while dancing, spotted them kind of go away, and then after a few minutes, you saw Bellatrix very promptly leave. And then a few moments later, Matthew approaches you.
I'm gonna lean down to Marcus. Give me just a minute. You go pick out some ones that you're interested in, and we'll make it an evening.
Don't take too long.
Good.
And he goes on.
Matt! Turn around.
Had a little too much.
There's still more if you were interested.
I'm good. I'm good. We just need to go check on Bella.
Why?
And
She's fine, right?
there's a girl who had a bit too much in another room. So I'm gonna go check to make sure Bella got back okay.
All right. Well, I'll suppose I'll wait for Nick, if he even shows. Part of me really wants him to. Another part of me thinks it's going to be explosive, which is why I really want him to.
Yeah, not gonna lie, I kind of want to see that. But yeah, I'm gonna go pop over there real quick, make sure she got there. If she's all right, I'll come back.
Well, hopefully you get back before the fireworks start.
Let me know when they do.
I'll give you a call if you're not here.
Would love that. And he will leave. You're muted.
Okay. Cool. You go do that. We'll get to you guys in a moment. At this point, is Nicholas going to the party?
Yes, but he's hunting fully first. The simple take half is like 3. I believe it's 3.
Yeah, I thought we took care of that prior. My bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have hunted. You are, see, you got 3.
It brings him back down to 1.
Yeah. Perfect. You hunted while this was happening, and shortly after Matthew leaves, you arrive.
Yep. Him and Alex will be walking into the front lobby of the exchange. Is he able to place... Like, how many of these people are underage?
Yes.
Just yes, okay. Does he pick up on that, or is he just thinking that they look young?
You can give me a wits and insight.
Alright, let's do it. Not that I want to, because I know exactly what it'll lead to. I built this character. It's my fault.
After Matt leaves, I'm going to move over and hook up with Marcus. So did you pick anyone out?
He kind of sits there for a moment. He goes, there's a couple on the other side of the room who look like they might be fun.
I'll make my way over to 2 of them and using Compel as I get over there. Why don't you go show my friend a good time? Why not, Marcus?
They look over at Marcus and then back at you. Sure thing. Are you going to be joining us?
And a glance to Nick coming in. Oh, in a minute.
They smile and they head on over there. You see them approach Marcus, and he kind of makes eye contact with you as they very quickly get very grabby in the scene.
I'll nod to him and kind of raise my glass.
He sets his drink down as he becomes thoroughly distracted as Nick comes into the room. Nick, what was... 3. You can tell these are all minors.
He tilts his head as he crushes the cigarette in his hand. Alex, if I kill Grei, let's figure out how to make it together. Yeah. Right.
Nick!
What the absolute fuck is this?
Keep your voice down. Everyone's having a good time. You can have a good time too.
What makes you think that I would ever approve of minors doing any sort of substance?
What makes you think they're minors and that I haven't just made friends with a whole bunch of people who found the Fountain of Youth? This is Florida,
Grei,
after all.
Grei, I make some stupid decisions. It doesn't make me a fool.
I can assure you there is no one digging any holes here. There are no miners.
Yeah. I think we'll need to make a contested roll because Nick doesn't believe him.
Well, you can give me a wits and insight versus his manipulation and subterfuge.
Grei is grinning too much to actually contest. It is obvious.
Okay.
Nick is
He's
going
grinning
to
like
Grei.
the cat who ate the canary.
Nick's going to try to punch Grei.
Strength and brawl. Grei, do you contest it?
Oh yeah, not gonna let him hit me.
Are you heading back,
He's
or are you
gonna
just
have, he's
dodging?
gonna have to work for that. Oh no, I'm just dodging. He's gonna have to work for it.
Okay,
He really
Dex and
wants to.
athletics.
Yeah, 1. Out of 1 dice.
3.
You swing at him, and he just kind of drifts to the side as it passes him completely. Alex begins
no.
watching you both very intently.
I know you're angry, so this probably isn't the best place to do this. Maybe we could step outside? You could get these feelings off your chest. Ben has probably sent you into a little tizzy.
No. We both know. We both fucking know. You knew how I'd feel about something like this. It was fucking obvious, don't you think, with Sarah?
Sarah.
Don't.
Oh, the girl. Right.
I was just starting to kind of like you. Just a little bit, Grei.
Nick, why don't we step outside and settle this once and for all?
Settle what? What do you think I'm gonna do? Fucking do something that's going to...
Well, you've already taken a swing. Why don't you take a few more?
Yeah, a swing is one thing. I'm not gonna fucking... People. Even out there might be people that just show up. We both
And
know
it's
there's only
just
so
a
much I can do.
fist fight. I will push Nick towards the door.
If we... He will try to stop... Great. If we do this outside, it's not me who's gonna do something.
That's fine.
Gestures at Alex.
Alex can join in too. There's always room for another one.
No, Grei. As angry as I am right now, I don't want you dead.
Nick. I'm push him again. Come on.
No, stop. Do not touch me.
Or what? Push him again.
Alex steps up next to Nicholas when you push him again. Just makes eye contact with you and shakes his head.
Alex, we both know he needs to let go. He's bottled up tighter than, well, a
What
boob
does
like
that have to do with kids imbibing in things that they really shouldn't be imbibing in? Tell me, Grei. What does
Because
that
it
have to
made
do
you-
with it?
It made you mad enough to take a swing. Just follow
You're
through.
right. They're kids, Grei.
At this point, because you guys are just kind of arguing in the middle of this party, people are now starting to kind of turn and notice the quarrel.
I will grab him by the shoulder and kind of tug him towards the door. You're bringing the mood down for them.
Fucking good. And he will try to get away.
I will keep moving towards the door.
Okay, you will keep moving, like keep trying to drag him towards the door?
No,
or-
no, I will
Okay.
keep going so he will follow me, hopefully. That's the idea.
Gotcha.
I'm not mad at them, he's mad at me.
He'll look back. Turn to Alex. We called 911. What do you think that would do?
I think that gets a lot of kids who are just trying to have a good time in trouble.
Alright. If he pushes too far, some damage will... I don't mind some damage. No killing. I appreciate it, by the way.
Noted.
And
Go
they
for it.
will both walk out. Although he gives the dad look to all the kids.
Give me a. I guess manipulation and intimidation.
Yes, because I have well much of that. All right. An almighty 1.
There's a couple kids that look kind of like shaken by the glance, but everyone else just sees this dude giving him a fucked up look as he storms out of the place that he was just shouting with some other older guy, and they're just like, the fuck ever, and go back to the party. As you guys step outside, we will come back to you in a moment as we shift back toward the tea shop. Matthew, you arrive at the Haven. What is Bellatrix doing as things are starting to subside a bit? You did get some food.
She has the skylight open in the meeting room, and she is just staring up at the stars. Just laying on her back, staring up.
Before Matthew enters the scene, what is on Bellatrix's mind?
She's trying to piece together the past few hours of what she's seen. She sort of remembers the thing with Ben, not really was able to focus on the end of it. And she is still pushing down the want to have it all. And she's so tired.
Matthew, you step into the tea shop, and it's not long before you find Bellatrix.
You okay?
Yeah. I will be. Thank you.
That's what I'm here for. I mean, I'll leave you be if you prefer, but I just wanted to come and make sure you at least got back here okay. This city, what the hell?
There's a lot.
But yeah, if you want some company, I'll stick around. If not, I can go be somebody else somewhere else.
No. I think I just want to be in this skin for now.
All right. You're gonna stick here for a while? All right. I'll lock up. If you need anything, I'm gonna go back there in case Nick shows up. Because I don't foresee that, even though I don't quite have your guys' skill set.
For the record, I don't approve of your methods. Because like he would have stopped mid.
A little bit of method acting, a little bit of
Shut up.
sympathetic magic.
Shut up. You know, that doesn't change my feelings on this whole situation.
You find out where that is, whatever you saw. I'm gonna go help that little girl.
You're gonna hear Matt say in French to Grei, "Grei, you are a fucking artist."
I'm gonna head back inside and go find
No,
a girl.
I don't know what you just said, but I know it was encouraging. Stop it.
He will chuckle on his way back in.
Do not encourage
Mercy.
this behavior.
You
It got the job done, didn't it?
I could have done it without him doing that. I didn't pull on on that creature. I did it myself, which means I could have done it myself.
You feel this rage that hasn't fully died down within you as this thought kind of jumps to the front of your mind. Then why'd you wait till now?
Like, Nick will shiver. No. I'm in fucking control. You don't get to comment.
No response. Grei, you make it back to the young lady in one of the rooms. She's looking really weak, but she is alive. It didn't go quite too far, but she definitely looks exhausted and pretty out of it.
I am going to help her up, and then kind of get her propped up, and bring in some juice, just juice, orange juice for her. Make sure they smell it. Make sure they haven't put any vodka in this, and then make sure that she gets enough fluids and enough sugars in her, and she starts to feel a little better. And after that, I'm going to go check on Marcus. See how he's getting along.
Marcus is getting along great. He is having a wild time.
And since I don't expect Nick to come back, I'm going to be joining him.
Okay then. What is Nick and Matthew doing for the remainder of the evening?
I will say, Lekar, if Matthew had been looking at Nick, there would have been no hiding the fact that he was... something in his own head had distracted him, and wasn't trying to hide how disturbed he was as it ran through him.
Nick, I get it. But I'm sorry. Sometimes we gotta do the shit we don't want to do to get the job done. Van Gogh, one of the greatest artists, and the shit he dealt with on a daily basis in his own head is the reason he's one of the greatest artists. If he didn't have half the problems he had in life, we probably wouldn't know his name.
I am fully aware of the dichotomy of Van Gogh. You know I like art too. There is a difference between letting something like that ever have an ounce of control. I may be insufferable to you. I may be too controlling and make mistakes. That thing ever gains control? It's not me I'm worried about. Don't you get that? It's not me I'm worried about. It's you. It's even Grei. It's Bella. It's every single person that falls under its gaze, because I know how dangerous it is. I'm fully aware of how dangerous it is. It can't be let loose. I get what you're saying, Matthew. I really do. I truly do. There's a difference between doing what needs to be done and opening the door for something worse to come in.
And I get that. And I want you to think about one thing, though. You're saying that like me and Grei and Bella don't have the same problem. I just had to take care of something because of that problem. And you're not the only one who fears that on a daily basis. But you also have to remember, you're not the only one. If something goes wrong, me and Grei and Bella are here to help. Just like I know if something goes wrong with me, I have you three. Yes, it's dangerous. We're fully aware of how dangerous it is. I got very close the other night. I don't want that to come out. You saw what happened earlier. And had we all been fine, things might have gone differently earlier. But it happens. You're so wound up because you're afraid of what you will do to other people. And there's nothing wrong with you being afraid. It's being so afraid that you're going to hide in your shell forever and not rely on people. Yes, Grei's methods are a little unorthodox to say the least.
Don't act like you weren't very enthusiastic about him, Matthew.
Oh, don't misconstrue. Don't misunderstand. His method, unorthodox. But it was effective.
Yeah, well, maybe I should have been given the choice first, and then if I couldn't do it on my own, maybe then he could have tried something. He took that choice from me, when we don't know if it was necessary or not.
No, but we're running out of time. And that phone call I got, that's a ticking time bomb.
Did you think that I was, just going to sit around and do nothing? Did you think that maybe I wasn't on just as much a timetable as you guys are?
No. But some of our best work, some of my best work, came from the worst moments of my life. When I was... He figured if he pushed you hard enough, you'd break through whatever Ben's doing. And sometimes it feels like you might not be trying hard enough because you're afraid of what is going to come out of you when you do it. So yes, he didn't give you much of a choice. But it was the only choice we had at this point in time, in my opinion.
None of you get to tell me if I am trying my damnedest. Let's make that clear, first of all. I'll move on for the sake of all of us, and because there's just nothing to be gained, because it'll just make Grei happier. Don't do it again. Because the best moments may have come out of the worst situations for you. For me, the worst moments came out of the worst situations.
Okay.
I'm glad we have an understanding. And he will just walk away.
I won't push you. Can't make them.
Where does Nicholas go when he storms off?
Well, he's hungry again. He's angry. He's really fucking angry because they're not entirely wrong. They're not entirely right in his mind either.
Mm-hmm.
He's tired though. Like he's a willful person, and it just feels like he's just used every trick in the book just to get through the night though. And he just if he'll do he'll do a little more hunting if that's okay, and then probably turn in for the night.
Absolutely. And what does Matthew do for the remainder of the evening?
He's going to go enjoy the party with Grei.
Okay. You all have had a very full night. And as things begin to wind down, the party begins to die down. Eventually, you all go to your respective places to slumber and await the meeting the following night. And that is where we will take a break. We'll be back in about 5-10ish minutes. Thank you for tagging along so far, and we will see you soon. Welcome back, and thank you for waiting. As we come back, it is the following day. Hunting and rouse checks already taken care of. We're going to go ahead and pull ourselves to the common area of the tea house, where everybody is just now coming together to have a conversation. So that is where we will pick up. We'll say that Nick's the last one to enter. As everybody is present in the room, the scene is yours.
Grei is dressed a little bit better than usual this evening, dressed as if he was going out somewhere. Slacks, jacket, a button-down shirt that is maybe one button too far unbuttoned. Everyone ready for the road trip?
Road trip?
Road trip?
Right. We're supposed to be going to Asylum? Meeting local luminaries?
Right.
What? Didn't you just have a party?
This isn't my party. Matt, you got the message. You can tell her.
Yeah, it kind of slipped my mind after last night. We're going to have a conversation with someone about things. It'll be fine.
Who? What things? Why are you dancing around the subject?
Charlie's been taken.
Yeah.
What?
After everything, I got a message, and they got Charlie. She got taken, and we have to go meet with someone to talk about that.
It's Ben, of course. We know where he is. Look to Nick. Nick's powers of the vision, at least, are going to give us that.
It's definitely not the sewers. It's very, you said, abandoned building, warehouse type of thing.
That is the likeliest scenario you can kind of glean from your vision.
He's also not always keeping her torpid.
So we know a bit more than nothing, which is good, but do you have anything better than just a warehouse? Do we have a better location than that?
I mean, was he able to glean anything extra out of that? I don't think he was.
Not really.
All I can say is the more that I try to look, the more Ben will be ready for us. He knows when I'm looking. Every time.
So then he knows that you know.
Yes, he does.
which means he's expecting you.
I mean, it gives us some options.
Yes, yes, it does.
I'll stand up and smash my teapot against the wall. Throw it.
Well, that was a waste.
I will fix it later. It will just have more gold on it. I will be right back. I'll go get Ben's journal.
When she does that, Nick's gonna turn slowly to Grei. No, Grei. Don't, preach peace. I'm sure it's exactly what you should do.
You know, I wonder just how many pieces she needs to break into before she finds herself.
Were there any warehouses mentioned in Ben's journal? I'm flipping through it.
There was not. Actually, give me what's an investigation.
While she's doing that, if I may, Nick would have turned to Grei at his comment. You do know it's not just me that I'm going to take an issue with that with. I don't care who it is in this group. You start fucking with people, Grei, I'm going to start taking an issue.
That's all I do, Nick, is fuck with people.
You can do better things. And I don't mean moral or righteous, I just mean better.
But none of those are as fun.
You know, you do it enough times, I'm sure you'll get bored. Why don't you try varying it up a little bit, huh?
Maybe. For you. If you ask very, very nicely. With
I just
sugar
been-
on top.
I had to spend a willpower, but 3 successes.
Back before the ramblings kind of became ramblings, really. You have information at the start of the journal. It's documented. This is his 100th or so journal. It looks like he writes a journal or gets a new journal anytime he takes on a interest, maybe. This journal seems to start with him talking about an investigation he was doing. Not a whole lot of details, but he was looking into something that had to do with a couple of local Malkavians. As he was investigating, he did the last entry that you see, which is dated back years upon years ago. I think looks like it's dated roughly 60, 70 years ago. He is heading toward he does find a warehouse. Just that he has noted the location that he's going to go check it out. He doesn't actually put in an address, but the next thing after, the entry ends with, I'm going to sneak inside tonight, see what's inside. I'll document everything in the morning. The next entry is dated April this last year. And it is dramatically different. It's more of the psychotic kind of all over the place, no organization in his thoughts. Whatever happened at that point is what caused the issue. He was investigating Malkavians, and there is a mentioned warehouse, but it does not have the address.
Okay. His journal mentions a warehouse, but there's no address, and he was there 60, 70 years ago.
Well, there can't be very many 60, 70-year-old warehouses still standing, can there?
No. Does Bella share that it looks like it might be tied to what is happening to him now?
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, this is proof right here that it's not.
talk
Well,
about a long-term
Edwin
gain.
said Charlie wasn't that powerful.
Was she even here, then?
I don't think so.
I think he's
It's-
conflated her with someone else.
Very possible. It's almost like a seed was planted and then finally it grew.
Who has the bolt gun?
Last Nick left it here, I think.
I think Nick gave it to Alex to hold on to.
I can take it if none of you are comfortable with it.
I don't
Take
think,
it.
Yeah, I don't think he gave it to Alex.
Okay, then never mind.
I think he
Unless-
kind of took it and then things escalated.
Yeah, because I passed it to you, and then
Okay, now I remember. He put it in the room, the main. Excuse me. In the main table.
okay.
Unless someone else wants to be the one to potentially pull the trigger.
I'm hardly qualified.
Well, any of
Hard
us
to
really
dodge me.
qualify.
I can take it.
Feel free.
I'll take the bolt gun again.
Okay. And you still have the stats for it?
Yeah.
So, Matt, who is exactly we're supposed to be meeting?
We're gonna have a conversation with Al.
Al?
Paul Simon? Yankovic? Both?
All I know is Carmen said Al wants to talk to us. So we're going to meet him. Or them. I don't think I have no idea who this person is. So yeah, I'm a little concerned.
Wait, is this the one that Carmen's supposed to be related to in some way?
Yeah, that's right. Now that you say that. I don't think she went into detail though. But she did say something about a connection.
Well, keep that in mind.
But I have the address, so
Anything you want to try to pull together before we go meet this mysterious owl? At least got a warehouse. We know she's alive. We know that he's got to be waiting on something, and from the sounds of it, it sounded, Nick, like you felt he was waiting for you. So
I wouldn't say me directly, more that he's just connected to me somehow. It's a sympathetic link of some sort. And it sounds like we're basically full circle. we're basically coming full circle in whatever happened to him.
Now, here's a question. When you do your thing, you're seeing through people, or are you just seeing things like TV?
It's infuriatingly all over the place. It's more like a sort of symbology mixed with metaphysical representation, sometimes straight up visions, or seeing around. In this case, I was standing behind Charlie. Ben started to sense me, and then after enough time, looked at me. Or when we learned about Sarah, it's like he was able to recognize that I was seeing through her eyes.
Damn, there goes that idea. I was thinking we could just blindfold you. That way, if he goes looking through you, he doesn't see nothing.
Yeah, he doesn't look through me. He just knows that I'm there.
Watching.
You said it's a sympathetic connection. Bella, you still have his face, the mask?
Mm-hmm.
Nick, take that. We run across Ben, put it on.
I hate that that's actually a decent idea.
Probably drive him insane. Well, he's already insane. It'll probably drive him sane. At least we could hope.
Fine.
He feels the connection the same way you do. Perhaps seeing himself will throw him off guard a little.
He said he was going to eat my brain, and then kill all of you, and then kill Charlie. So this is a trap. You guys know that, right?
Well, of course it's a trap. But we're going to walk into it anyway. And if you know you're walking into a trap, it can't be a trap.
No running into it, Nick.
I don't run so much as I just walk. In my defense.
No power jogging into it, Nick.
I just said I walked.
Well, waltzing. Can we waltz into it?
No.
Sure.
I like the idea of waltzing into a trap.
Anyway, I think we have places to be.
We do.
Okay.
Fucking another club.
With that, you guys gather your evidence, your information, all the fun stuff you've collected over the last couple weeks, and make your way to Asylum.
St. Petersburg by Night is brought to you through collaborations with our partnered vendors, Wolfpack Dice, Ember Fox Dice, Dragon Ink Dice, Beara the Bard, Champs Tramps, Penshi Artista, and Chromatic Creations. Links to our partnered vendors, as well as our Twitch and YouTube channels, can be found on our website, stpbynight.com. The official theme song for St. Petersburg by Night is Vampire by Faith and Failure. You could find them at faithandfailure.com. You can follow St. Pete by Night on all socials with the hashtag St. Pete by Night. If you wish to support our program, you could do so at coffee.com/St. Pete by Night to help keep the stories rolling.
As you guys arrive, I think I'll explain Asylum. If you will go ahead and turn your camera on for me.
So, Asylum is a 3-story brick building. It looks like it is newly built, but also looks run down and ragged at the same time. The sounds of loud, pulsing, thumping music can be heard probably from almost a block away as you're approaching the club. There is a group of kind of alternative-looking individuals, mohawks, piercings, leather and lace all over the place, bondage gear, kind of gathered out front, some of them lined up to get in, others just out taking a smoke break. But as you arrive, the bouncer, who's a rather burly, thick individual who looks like they have muscle, but it's probably buried between many, many cheeseburgers and hamburgers and other grease-fried foods, wearing a new Asylum t-shirt that doesn't even cover his entire stomach. It just seems to cover just about 2/3 of the way down, is kind of sitting on a stool by the front entrance. But as your car pulls up and you all approach the club, he almost immediately recognizes you and moves to the really dirty, dingy velvet rope that seems to be blocking off the entrance to the club. He kind of gives with both fingers and unhooks the rope before walking you into the club. He takes you over to a elevator, the side of which is covered in posters for local punk bands and other variety of fare, as music pulses over the dance floor and several people seem to be flailing more than dancing. It's probably one of the weirdest dances you've ever seen. That dates back about 20-something years. But there are people in masks, there are people without shirts on, and they just seem to be having the time of their life. There is a balcony that has staircases on either side that leads to the second floor, but he seems to be taking you to an elevator that goes to the third floor beyond. He gets to the elevator door, pushes the button, and as the elevator opens, he kind of just points upwards and stands outside waiting for you to go into the elevator.
Well, it's a far better entrance than we got at De Noche, but
Split the UK
ambience
Underground for me.
much.
I'll step in the elevator.
Make my way to the elevator as well.
As will I.
There seems to be only one button, or two buttons on the elevator. Ground floor and top floor. But, sorry, go ahead, Nick.
Oh no, I was just following them.
I'm gonna push them both.
You push them both and the elevator works. And starts kind of whirring, shaking ever so slightly as it starts. Knowing that this building only sprouted up within the last few months, it still feels like a building that's been through its punches, almost like something out of time. But as it goes up, elevator music starts playing, a very twingy melody of Bridge Over Troubled Water seems to be playing with no lyrics whatsoever, just an instrumental version playing as it reaches the top floor with a ding. Just as the doors are starting to open, you hear a whoosh and a blood-curdling scream from beyond the elevator doors. When they do finally open, the top floor looks like a warehouse in its own right, seemingly barren, but covered in work tables and an entire wall of monitors that all seem to be, some are traffic cams, some are police feeds, some are seemingly looking into certain houses and buildings throughout the city, and the cameras keep changing. But over at the far end of the room is a work table where Al has his back turned to you as he seems to be diligently working with something. The other thing that's noticeable is the strong odor of burnt flesh as a smoking ruin of a person seems to be chained up to a wall to one side. The smoke still coming off of the charred remains of the body that is chained up there. And Al just kind of mutters to himself, no, too much. We need more. We need less. We need less. Okay, just a little bit over here, a little bit over. And he just seems to be finicking with something to his back to you.
I'll step inside and give a half smirk. Hello, fool. It's been a while.
Oh, is that time already? Family reunion plus a toreador. Sounds like a bad joke, doesn't it? 3 broken mirrors and a rose walk into my bar with some very, very ill tidings. Yes, very ill tidings. Don't you? And as he turns around, you can see he seems to be holding the nozzle of a flamethrower, the fire spouting at the end of it. Come, let's have a chat, shall we? But let's keep it brief. There's things to be done. Yes, many things to be done.
Well, let's have a shot. Grei will kind of eye the flamethrower, more amused than frightened.
He kind of, and then turns it off, and the little flame dies at the end, and he sets it on the workbench behind him. Don't mind my friend. He hasn't much left to say, and he kind of looks over at the smoldering ruin before. Come, let's have seats, shall we? And he kind of gestures over to what looks to be 3 folding chairs that are set, or 4 folding chairs that are set up off to one side, and he just kind of hops up and sits on the workbench. So, who did it?
Well, that's a complicated question. Grei will move forward toward one of the chairs and have a seat. Very complicated question.
Uncomplicated. But I like complex things, isn't that right, Bella?
You do. I'll go to one of the folding chairs, sit on the stand on it and like sit on the back of it.
Start talking. I'm getting impatient already.
There's
Go ahead.
There's an Nosferatu named Ben who 60 or 70 years ago was driven mad, I suppose, by one of us. He thinks it's Charlie. He's taken her.
That is impossible. Charlie hasn't been around that long. She wasn't awake yet.
Yeah. His mind is going, and he has a weird connection to the web.
Very strange. Very, 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 very strange. They are not supposed to be able to connect to the web. They are not one of us. They are not family.
I thought so too.
Perhaps they were looking into something they shouldn't have been. Should have been minding their own business, but you know the sewer rats. They love to sniff in places most foul. They love to taste things that do not belong to them. They like to touch things that do not belong to them. They always seek knowledge, but do not have the mind to learn. Perhaps his just merely broke in all the right places, that he was finally able to understand, or maybe not. Maybe he tried to understand, and it just simply broke him.
Well, he thinks that our brains can fix him. Particularly one of the 3 of us.
No. I have just the thing to fix him. I have just the thing right here. And he kind of reaches over and gently pats the flamethrower. That is all the fixing that will be done, because he has her, and I need her.
Yes, he has her. Yes, you need her. But he doesn't have her for himself. He
What
wouldn't
does
have done all of this. There's someone else.
I don't care about anyone else. He has her, so he burns.
But if we don't get whoever is behind Ben, then another Ben just comes along later.
And I will burn them too.
Oh, I believe you would. Certainly. But that one, whatever one comes later, might get to Charlie faster. And we wouldn't want that to happen.
What do you know about Ben?
Grei will kind of turn and look at Nick.
Well, as previously stated, Nosferatu made crazy 60, 70 years ago. Probably has Charlie at the warehouse it happened at. And somehow was able to sense me through premonition.
It is fun to be the seer until they see back, isn't it?
More that he's just an asshole.
Why have you been appointed to this?
Keeper gave it to us. We ended up in doing it.
Do you
Simple
always
questions,
do what
yeah.
you're told?
Yeah. Great. Do I always do what I'm told?
Well, for the most part, no. But then again, sometimes it is best to do what you're told. Carmine was interested. And then, well, honestly, it was Charlie who helped set us on the course.
Yes, she's always been very generous. She's always been very helpful, but she is not done with the job yet, and therefore I need her.
We're gonna go get her.
Exactly.
Yes, we are. We are, and we will tear down everything that stands in our way until we get her back.
Oh, this is gonna be fun.
Ripping everything down isn't entirely necessary.
They always rebuild. It's their way. Nothing stays burned down for long. That's the fun of it. It's just something new to be burned down time and time and time again when the need calls for it.
I think we could be more surgical than destructive.
Surgical.
Yes, surgical. The same way Ben has been. The same way he's removed brains. Takes a bit of skill, and so far, from everything that we know in his diaries, I don't think we've heard where he would have developed a skill like that.
You would know all about sneaking into things, wouldn't you, Grei?
When the opportunity presents itself.
Yes. Okay. So, how do you propose we proceed then, Doctor?
Well, I say we walk into the trap that's obviously set for us. In fact, as I put it earlier tonight, we waltz into the trap.
I don't know much about the waltz. How about the cha-cha?
That could work as well.
And what kind of trap do you think it is?
He likes to use bombs and other devices. He'll have one set up to Charlie to kill her if we rush it. He likes to hide it. It's hard to see.
This city is obsessed with bombs. Always just boom over here, boom over there, boom in Tampa, boom in Sarasota, boom all over St. Petersburg. Why bombs? Why always bombs? But bombs can be fun.
Lack of creativity?
Or just
Right.
mass destruction.
So what's to stop him from blowing her and you up?
Because he wants something that we have. Otherwise, we would all be dead by now. We can't see him coming.
Do you know what he wants?
Look between Bella and Nick. One of them.
Me. If there's anything that premonition finally got through to me, it's that I'm the one. Don't know why, but apparently I am.
Perhaps he wants your eyes.
Mm.
You can see
Oh.
him, but he can't see you. Who doesn't want both?
He's more of a
Oh.
brain person.
Yeah.
At least he threatened to eat my brain when he tried to lead me into an ambush.
The eyes are just simply the security cameras of the brain. It's a way in. So what if it fails, your plan? Am I allowed to burn then? Because Carmen, she insisted that I wait to have this little chat, and this chat so far has been less interesting than the idea of simply going on a warpath.
Well, I mean, you said it yourself. What's to stop him from blowing Charlie up in your warpath?
Because like you said, he wants something, doesn't he?
He does.
Which is why
Yes.
we have to be surgical about it.
No, I think I know what Mr. L is getting at. Considering that I'm one of the things he wants. Well, if you're
Are
gonna
you
cast-
sure?
Well, I said I think. I didn't say I was sure.
Well, you've seemed pretty confident. You've repeated it over and over again. Saying something 3 times makes it true, doesn't it? And this is the 3rd time.
Well, by your reality.
I don't think Ben is even sure which one he wants. He said he's narrowed it down to 2. He didn't say which 2 in his
Up to you
journal.
all.
However, if you do go on a warpath, he'll have ample time to kill Charlie and find a new place to hide.
Not to mention that this reminds me of something that I was told. If you make it obvious that you're ready to go on this warpath, who's to say that wasn't the plan to begin with?
What
Yeah.
makes you so important?
I'd say I
What
was
do you
more-
have that Bella doesn't, or Grei doesn't, or this one?
Hell if I know. It's just what I've been able to piece together, and I'm not saying I can't be wrong. If you don't want to believe me, that's up to you, Mr. L.
Incredible self-loathing. They connect on
Fuck
an
you, Greg.
almost spiritual basis.
Greg, fuck all the way off.
I mean, Ben hates himself. We read that in the journal. You hate yourself. They're like almost siblings, different parents.
Which one had the ugly gene?
Oh, for certain, that's Ben.
Oh, I meant the father or the mother.
Oh. I'm not sure.
Probably the father. The poor, beautiful mother always takes pity on the wretched children. She takes them in, she nurtures them, she raises them right, she fixes their brains, and she sets them on the path. Isn't that right, Nick?
Beara, I'm going to ask, is that reference going to trigger one of the things we talked about in character creation? Do you think?
Which thing are you referring to again?
Let me DM you real quick. I'm sorry to
Sure thing.
break the rhythm here.
Probably a little bit.
Then everyone around Nick will see him lean back, cross his legs. Now, Mr. Owl, it's rude to talk about people that aren't here. Don't you agree?
I'm simply talking about myself. If you see something that you relate to in it, that's your reality, isn't it?
By all means, it is. Wonderful realities, aren't they?
And then there's the father who tries to protect, provide shelter and care for, though seemingly absent. And when the children leave, the father thinks back on the time he could have spent, the time he would have spent, the time he should have spent. And he misses his children so, especially when they are so close, but seemingly so far. So far as not to come for a visit?
I didn't know you were here.
Hmm.
Sensed something, but I didn't know it was you.
Well, it's okay, priestess. I know that you've been busy with other things, other thoughts, other considerations going on. We always have so many things to do, so many things to think about, so many things to ponder. But we can't forget where we came from. Promise me, once all this is over, you'll make these visits a little bit more habitual. We have so much to catch up on.
Yes. I would be delighted to come visit more often.
Promise it.
I promise it. I swear on the stars.
Wonderful. And you, Rose. How did another Rose find themselves tangled up in the shattered glass? The refracted reflections. How did your garden send you to the madhouse?
Kindred spirit, I suppose. While not the same stock, I kind of know what it's like to be them, to be you, in a way. Not precisely, but artificially.
Have you been chosen?
Not so much. Mostly luck.
And you don't know what it's like to be me, but the others perhaps. It is a burden to be chosen. It is a burden to be the one. Especially with no guidance, no instruction. Something that I've struggled with, but Charlie has helped me with. That is why I need her. She gives me direction. Ever since Mother went to sleep, a long sleep, an unexpected sleep, I have been like a ship lost at sea that has finally found safe harbor, a lighthouse, to show the way again.
I'll bring her
All
back
right.
to you.
Oh, we, my dear child, will bring her back. I am not going to sit idly on the sidelines, because if you fail, I will burn it all.
No, regardless of what it takes. That's what she is to you. You will bring her back.
Maybe not. I
And
certainly
I would.
will, mate.
I would be happy to have you with us.
I don't go out much these days. I don't get to see the streets ever since the boy king decided to take his throne with an iron fist and send away the outcasts and the rejects. I've had to resort to other means. But that's all right. She was a lot more open-minded than he is. The perils of youth, the mistakes of the young. The tower is the tower once again. As it always has been, as it always will be. It will always re-erect and be just as haughty and arrogant as it always has been. Not that the silly children to the north are much better. We can never truly be free, now can we? Destiny decides our path, and we are slaves to it. Why do you hide, Grei? What are you hiding from?
Because if I didn't, then my Charlie would destroy me.
Oh, you've angered them. Is it not your duty as an obedient child to take your punishment? Or is it an unjust punishment from a self-righteous dictator?
He's more than that. And like,
Always.
and I think from what you've said, you're one of the few people who would understand.
Yes. My mother gave me a purpose, and I did everything for her. Everything she asked, everything she told me to do. I removed those that needed removing. I broke those that needed breaking. And then she just was gone. All right. Okay. So, surgical. You'll need tools, yes? Tools for surgery?
Yes.
I have
Tools
many
for
tools.
surgery.
Many tools. What kind of implements will you need for this operation, doctor?
Oh, every good surgeon needs a knife.
A knife I just so happen to have. Let me get it for you. And he'll kind of walk over to several cabinets that just hang on the wall, and he'll kind of look just from the outside of the cabinet as if he's memorized every shelf in the cabinet, even with the doors closed. Like, no, not that one. That's a little dramatic, isn't it? Maybe this one. Oh, well, I don't suppose you're going to be fighting werewolves, are you? Perhaps, oh, nope, ghosts. Yes, we needed those for ghosts. Need to restock on those. Way too many ghosts. Let's see. Ah! I have just the thing. And he will kind of fool with the knobs of the cabinet before opening it up and reaching up to a shelf, and he will pull out what just looks to be a handle, but then he will just press a button on the side and whip it out, and a long blade will extend from the end of it. Is this what you're looking for? Something like this, perhaps?
That could be useful. Not the knife that I'm used to wielding, but...
What kind of knife are you used to wielding?
Well, my wit.
Oh, the mental knife, of course. Are you going to talk him into letting her go? Sounds like he needs something a little stronger than conversation.
Conversation is the starting point. The distraction. But that, I'll point to the blade. could be the ending, the entire point of the conversation.
Well, I wouldn't be assisting if I didn't offer out everything that I have. He'll just kind of shove it back together. And he'll just kind of come over and present it to you on both hands. Now, I'll need that back when you're done with it, you understand?
Absolutely.
And what else? What else do we need? Do we need cameras? Do we need security codes? Do we need mother's maiden names or perhaps the last 4 digits?
Cameras, and he's been mostly staring at the security cams feeds this whole time during these conversations. We do need to know where we need to cut, don't we?
Will you roll a wits and investigation as you're staring at the cameras?
I'll take this moment to say Nick's resumed his old posture, just quietly as if nothing happened.
Bear with me, die roller's not working.
And what about you, my lovely little seer? Apple of my eye. What do you need?
I got a 3.
Okay, so on several of the security feeds, there are a lot of traffic cams. You can see several, kind of like a rotating cam in De Noche, where it's taking shots from different angles within the club. Obviously, Asylum is on one set, but 2 that particularly stand out to you are the Fine Arts Museum of St. Petersburg inside the building and the Dali Museum inside the building.
A net.
A net?
A net.
What kind of net? Razor wire, perhaps? Or maybe something that will shock the senses?
Ooh, that one sounds good. If we could shock him.
It's a good
moment.
time. Sometimes I use it as a blanket. And he will walk over to another cabinet and do the same thing. It's like, this one, no. This one, no. This one. And then he'll reach in and kind of pull out this long chain link mesh blanket or like net that seems to be, that has like a battery pack, a detachable battery pack attached to it. And he'll hold it up and then just press the button and you'll see him like jerk for a second. It's very cozy. And he'll roll it up and just offer it out to you.
Take it. Look to Nick and the others. So we need to narrow down if we really think he's at this other warehouse that he was years ago, cycles and all. We need to narrow down how many existed or still exist from back then. And Nick, can you describe enough for Matthew to draw a picture of the inside of the warehouse?
Devil God, can I do that?
I'm sorry?
Can I do that, Beara?
Do what exactly?
Have retained enough to give Matthew a good description for sketching.
Of the inside of the warehouse.
Yeah, yeah, you just give me an intelligence roll.
Okay.
Matt, give me wits and craft with your specialty.
Like, just straight intelligence, nothing else?
Just straight intelligence.
Okay. 1.
Four.
Okay. Yeah. You managed to come off with a only mildly crude but relatively accurate depiction of the scene that you were standing in.
Okay. Matt, can you assess this and see where would the best place for traps be? Charlie was here, like, because I'm sure he pointed out where Charlie was in reference to it, to what he saw.
While they're talking, Al's gonna go over to the bank of monitors and sit down at a keyboard and start just typing.
Do you want me to roll for that, or like guessing, or just play with it?
I will say you only really had access to the one room. Based on what you have experienced with Benjamin at this point, if it's going to be present here, it's likely going to be, like, specifically where it is that Charlie is torpid is likely would be trapped, if you were to go off of that pattern.
Yeah, because he likes to keep them really close to the person that it's involving. So most likely anywhere in her vicinity, very close to her, if not on her.
Can I see the pretty picture?
Absolutely, and he will hand it off.
Al will just take a moment to look at it and then just immediately pass it off and type a little bit more, and then pop up an address and building schematics. I believe this is the one you're looking for. And then he'll just do Control P, and you'll all of a sudden get a ding on all of your phones, anybody who has cell phones. That should be everything you need, or that we need.
One more thing. Well, I said I'm happy to have you along with us. If you could, keep yourself to the shadows.
I don't like the shadows. They are constricting, confining, but perhaps I have another idea.
One of the few advantages we have over him.
He doesn't know something that I can do. He kind of reaches over to the computer and presses down another key. Chucky, could you come here, please? After a few more minutes, the overweight individual comes in. I need to borrow your brain. Again. Chucky just kind of nods. Sorry, you can't see this part. And she takes Chucky by the hand and walks over to like a side room and hits a code on a punch pad, and a door opens up. He walks through with Chucky. The door closes. After a couple of moments, the door opens again, and Chuck comes walking out, but this time with a slightly different posture. Turns around, hits with the same deft movements, hits the keypad, and the door slides shut. I'm ready.
That'll work.
I don't want to lose this one, but if there was one to lose, I mean, he just kind of sits on a bench all day.
Oh, he did a great job when we came in.
Yeah. Today.
There are good days and bad days.
Yes. Well, when are we going? Tonight? Are we going tonight? I'd really like to go tonight.
We know where it is. We have what we need. Let's do some waltzing.
I like to waltz. Oh, sorry, cha-cha. Chuck kind of just walks over to the table and picks up the flamethrower in the backpack and straps the backpack on.
Okay. You all gather your implements. And are you guys going in the same vehicle, or?
Yeah.
Very well. You all get together and begin to move. The drive takes roughly 45-50 minutes before you get into kind of like a industrial area, but this place looks like it hasn't been used too much in a long while. It looks like there has been some renovations, but it's kind of in that weird like limbo where like they're working on it, but it can take anywhere between a week and like 10 years kind of thing. As you guys disembark from your vehicles and begin moving into the area, go ahead and give me wits and awareness rolls. Immediately kind of looking, as you're doing that, immediately as you're looking around, it looks like it's kind of like a few buildings that are almost like right on top of each other. Very easy. It almost creates like a maze or labyrinth situation.
I don't know what it is about whenever I have to roll my best skill and barely getting anything.
That happens.
3 successes.
3 as well.
4.
3.
What about Al?
Oh. Didn't roll. Actually, I'm not going to roll. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm sorry, Matt, you said you got 5?
3.
3. Sorry. Okay. As you guys are kind of stepping into the area, there are no lights, really. Everything is off. Like I said, it kind of is in this weird construction state, like whether they're going to tear it down, renovate it, do whatever they're going to do. You see that there are a few areas that seem kind of oddly packed. You find, like maybe some homeless people might have moved into the area. You find some carts, maybe some things where people might have set up camp, but at the same time, there's no evidence that anybody is near this space. Before long, you guys get to a point where you kind of in the center of this massive buildings, you find a larger structure that looks like it's the most worn down. As you got closer to the space, you find fewer and fewer signs of people being present. Fewer construction zones, fewer machines to help with whatever task might be being done here. Fewer areas where people were kind of squatting. It becomes less and less evident that people exist in the space the closer to the center that you get, until finally you're at the well, not the entrance. I'm not assuming that you're getting right up on the building, but you find the building that lines up with the address that you found. It's roughly 2 stories tall. Like I said, larger than the rest. Kind of like a... Not quite the size of like a traditional like public high school, but maybe like one that... building that has been like redone to like a community college kind of vibe. Not a very large building, but enough that a good sizable amount of people can move through comfortably. You see that there are a couple of entrances, but a lot of the doors look like they've been barred shut. So a lot of the windows look like they've been boarded. How do you wish to progress?
Going to activate both heightened senses and sense the unseen.
Sense the unseen for Nick as well.
I'm gonna get out of the car and get out of view and activate unseen passage and sense the unseen.
Silence of death
For now,
Nick as well.
I'll leave that. I'll probably when we're entering, I'll activate silence of death, but they might want to talk to me right now.
Go ahead and do any relevant rouse checks for me.
Yeah, Matt will be activating heightened senses and sense the unseen as well.
I get hungrier.
I'm going to move along the outside, the various different areas where it looks like there could be an entrance, even though they might look boarded up. Just very light pressure, using heightened senses to see how far things give, to see if any of these are like falsely boarded.
You're muted.
Son of a bit. Give me a wits and investigation.
Actually, would Nick be able to help him out with that?
Sure. You can add another die to your roll.
Thank you for the extra die. I will take the critical success.
All right. As you are looking about, you find that, there aren't any false boards. The windows that are boarded are boarded. The doors that are boarded are boarded. You're uncertain as, like, no idea what has gone on in this building, but you are aware that it is almost all the way around, if you go about, is sealed off. With your investigation, I will say that you find that there are 2 entrances that are available without breaking through one of these boardings.
I will look Matt's direction and whisper very low, sure that he's able to hear me, and relay to him there are 2. Point the directions.
The directions are what look to be like broken emergency exits that should typically lock in some capacity, but they are ajar. The front door and all the other like main entrances to the building have been shut down and boarded closed.
One and one.
Knock my head. Whichever one Matt does not take, I'll take the other one.
I'm going to make a trip around the building. I'm looking for invisible things. He has a habit of doing that, so.
I'd say Nick's keeping an eye out. He would likely follow Matthew.
Muted.
I will go ahead and say that you are. You don't see anything invisible. At least outside.
Okay.
Nicholas is following Matthew. Grei is taking the other entrance. Which direction does Al go?
He's gonna go the way he always goes.
Okay.
I'm going to be following behind Grei. I'll whisper to him, I'm going silent now, and then I'll pop Silence of Death.
Nod my head.
As you... So 2 of you are going to the west entrance, 2 of you are going to the east entrance. As you step into the doors, or open the doors, go again, no interior light that you find. You step into these kind of like hard tiled white painted walls that look like they've kind of deteriorated into like a soft yellow. Now I will need anyone who has Sense the Unseen to give me a Wits and Auspex roll for me. If you would be so kind.
Would I be able to blood search?
Sure.
Does not get hungrier. Is that 1 die or 2 die on discipline?
I'm sorry.
Is the die bonus different on disciplines? I can't remember for some reason.
It would be if you had a higher potency.
Okay. All right. Sorry about that.
You're good.
Okay. I'll take that. That's 10 successes.
I'm going to spend a power and reroll 2
Sure
dice.
Four successes here.
4 for me as well.
3 successes.
So Nick is with Matthew, Bellatrix with Grei. So Bellatrix and Grei, as you guys step in, you don't notice anything. Because of that, I'm going to need you both to make a Dex and Athletics roll as you step into the space. As you step further into the corridor. Nicholas, as you stepped into the room, you suddenly saw that there is a obfuscated wire that seems to be kind of going across the main room, or like the main floor, going about 5 feet in.
He's going to stop Matthew immediately. And then you share the senses on him so he can see what he sees. Is that how that works? Or am I reversing it?
You're reversing it. Usually
yeah.
you see what they see, not vice versa.
Okay, then never mind. It's been a minute.
All
Mostly
good.
I'm just looking at things. They'll still stop Matthew and point at the wire. Clear as day. It's a wire across the floor. Is there anything else beyond it? Or can I see what it's going to?
You see that it seems to be pinned to the wall on the left. It goes across to the right where it seems to be kind of tucked behind a doorway. Like it has been creased into the doorway and then closed, going into another room.
So just stepping over it looks like it'll be fine.
It looks like it's a tripwire, so if you don't trip it.
Alright. Just walk over it. And he'll lay his hand above where the wire is, so Matt doesn't have to work hard to avoid it. And then he'll just, yeah, I'm gonna get over this. No more explosions, please.
Cheers, and he will gently and slowly, he will be holding his breath unnecessarily, but it's habit at this point to step over.
Matthew, as your second foot comes over and then stamps down next to the other, on the other side of the wire. As soon as your foot hits the ground, you feel the building shake. As on the other side of the building, you guys tripped a bomb.
That wasn't me. I got it this time.
Two successes. Okay. You both take 4 superficial damage.
Is that already halved?
Okay. No, that's not halved. So 2. These are just concussive explosions. No fire or anything on that line. However, the building, the corridor that you were walking through collapses in this moment. As you dig yourselves out of the debris, this path is now close to you.
Shit.
About that moment, kind of from behind the door that the wire was tucked behind, you hear this really cheap little walkie-talkie. You guys hear it as well on the other side of the door where the wire you didn't trip was located. Looks like we've all come to play. Very well. I'll be waiting for you.
Am I still hidden?
I will say after being hit with an explosion, you probably have to drop your obfuscate.
Okay.
With that, we will bring the session to a close. We are going to be taking a little bit of a break. We will be picking this back up in a couple of weeks, where we will finish the finale or conclude Bloody Strings. Thank you all for playing with me this story so far, and thank you all for tagging along for the ride. Look forward to seeing you in the next chapter. Have a wonderful evening.
This has been a St. Petersburg by Night production. Bloody Strings is produced in agreement with the World of Darkness and Dark Pact. The storyteller for Bloody Strings is Beara. Tonight's characters were voiced by Truckexe, Lekar, Noree, and Kyrie. Visit our website at stpbynight.com for more information about all of our productions and how you can become part of our community. Thank you for listening, and until next time, fangs, stakes, and claws out.